So I know this is a new face. I'm also new on here, but this is why I'm here. I have been meaning to come on this space for a long time to make my debut appearance, but I've been stalling. Not because I was scared or afraid to start, but because I don't know what to offer. But in as much as I do not really have the blueprint of why I am on this platform, I can assure you that I am here with all the vibes. We're going to be moving on vibes and inshallah. In that regard, I decided to do like a story time on how everything about my meeting my husband down to the parents, marriage, and then how it's going, like how everything went down and it's still going down, right? So here is the tea, just for the context. I am from the Middle Belt. I am from Nasarawa State. I am Mada by tribe. In case you've not heard of it, Google it. We exist because so many of us don't know any other tribe apart from Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, and you stop there. But Mada people exist, and I'm one of them. So, for context, yes, I am Mada from Nasarawa State, and my husband is a Yoruba man from Osun State, Ilesha West to be precise. So yeah, you should know how we met. How did I meet my husband? Okay, so I schooled in Nasarawa State University, yes, and we met in church basically. My husband was a member in that church while I was handling the student fellowship. So during the weekdays where we have prayers and all of that, we meet in the university faculty of natural and applied science for prayers and all of that. Then on Sundays we worship in Dadinkowa, like that is the main church, let's say headquarters now. It was usual spiritual church brother, and he had someone in his life as at then that I knew of. So there was nothing, like we're not even friends to start with. And let me even put it out there, I never really liked him. I did not like my husband. Nah, I did not. So he got done with school and then he went to serve and all of that. Me, I was doing my thing now. Then one day, one Wednesday midweek prayers, I was on suspension. I don't know what I can't remember what I did, but I was placed on suspension. And when you're on suspension, you come early, you sit behind and all of that. So that day I was on suspension, I still came late, and I was wearing a gown. The down was like plain green, then the upper part was like polka dots, and I did all this straw coil hair now that year. So I did that and I came to church. That day I noticed that he has not been around. He had gone to serve, but somehow he came home to visit or something like that within his service year. So I didn't pay any attention. I just got into church, greeted hi as usual, and I noticed that he was looking at me. The man was staring hard, and I was telling myself, why is this man looking at me like that? I did not mind. Normally I'd be fine, so I mean, I didn't mind. And after that service, he met me and he was like, um, can he get my number? And I was like, what harm would this one cause? Nothing. I give him my number. And from there, he started calling, he was checking in. I was still in school, I was in my final year, that was 2017. And I think he was about to round up his NYC. So he was calling, checking in, gist and all of that. All this while, I didn't know he was a Yoruba guy, because so I'm new in this content creation team and on this YouTube channel. My leg just went off, so pardon me. I'm going to use natural light. On my mind, he was an Igon man, because his Hausa intonation, when he speaks Hausa, he sounds like a typical Egon man. And if you don't know what Egon is, please go and Google it. It's another tribe in Nasarawa State. So I was like, okay. And I was not in a relationship because I had told myself before university that I was not going to do boyfriend and girlfriend until like my final year, or when after I finished my university, because I didn't want a distraction. I was like going to come out with a first class and all of that. Anywho, I did not make a first class, but I came out with a very good result, if I do say so myself. So it was like final year now. So I was not like, okay. But me, I knew he had somebody, but I didn't know where he was going at with the friendship. And I honestly did not care. Like, I honestly did not care. I was just treating him like a normal, random person. So after a while, I stopped picking his calls when I found out he was Yoruba, because prior to then, when we were still in, I think, secondary school, my mom had told myself and my two other sisters that if we want to marry, we should not go and bring husband from any farthest. She gave us the list of places that we should bring husbands from, like list of states. She said Kaduna, Adamawa, she said maybe Benue, then Jos. These are the like few places she said we should go and bring husband from. We should not go and bring any other person outside of these states that she mentioned. We were still children, mind you. So yes, I took that very seriously. I was like, how will I tell my mother I want to marry a Yoruba man? And aside that, I had somebody that I was telling myself that the Holy Spirit told me that was my husband. If you don't get it, rewind and listen to it again. I was the Lulu. I was like really delusional. I was like into this person, and this person has not really like even asked me out. He just, this kind of people that appear and disappear, do not make their intentions known, and they just leave you second guessing yourself. And I foolishly kept waiting. I was like, God said, this is my man. He's the perfect will of God for my life. So yes, I was not really entertaining my now husband. Like he was not even an option because I had this person, and this person, that used to do like Nepal lights. We have not defined anything. He has not asked me out. He has just become unusually close. He will, in this moment, he's close. He's calling. He's going to see my. He's going to my family house even in my absence, and then after a while, he's nowhere to be found. But I kept saying, with time he realized that it is me and I'll wait, I'll be here, and all of those kind of things. Stuff would be. Now in retrospect, the thing just shame me. Then I stopped picking my husband's calls, like started like, what are you looking for? I don't want, I don't want to be friends, don't call me. And she stopped calling for a while, but then again he came back. Along the line, long story cut short, he had finished serving and he had returned back to Kefi. And me, I was rounding up. I was like doing my project. He'll come over to my house. Started helping me with my project. And let me even tell you another thing. When in those periods that he was, toasting me, wooing me, coming to my house, there was one day he came to my house and he didn't have like money to go back home. Like this man will wear fine back up with Timberland that year and come to back of Giza Plaza. That was where I stayed in Kefi. He'll come back from his house and come. He'll come to my house and then he'll be like, do you have 100 naira to give him to pay bike man? The day he did that thing, he did it once. I was like, which kind of person be this? They ask us how they collect money for transport. From where to where now? Where what kind this guy gonna beg? I gave him. But then I think those moments really, I don't know. I felt he was honest. I saw like sincerity. He was open to a fault, and I liked it and I didn't like it. So I'm like, you're collecting money from somebody that you claim you want to date, that you're trying to like, you're spoiling your chances. Well, that was by the way. So from those, I just said, this one a friend gave me. Beside, I had let's call him brother Bruce. I had brother Bruce that I was eyeing, that God said is my husband. That I told myself that God said he was my own. Along the line, my sister was like, called me and she was like, if you don't like this guy, just tell him you don't like him, because I don't like the way you're always frowning when you see him, because I was like, this man is pestering me. I don't like you. Get away. So I was like giving him attitude. My sister said that if you don't like him, tell him you don't like him and you should just go your separate ways. That was when I decided to let me just really pray about this thing, right? Let me just really pray about this person. So it happened that we went for a prayer that we used to do from church. We went on mountain trip and went to pray, like more like a retreat. So in that retreat, I brought it, I tabled it. When I came down, I had peace about the whole thing. Then I said, okay, let's try it. October 2017 was when I agreed to officially be his girlfriend. Started dating. That one don't pass by. You think that it was all over. No, it wasn't. Before I said yes to him, he had ended things with his previous relationship. I don't even want to go into that. It was a whole lot. So I said yes to him, and then it was official. We started dating. You would think that we have overcome. Remember, I told you my mom had warned us not to bring anybody that is not from the first state she mentioned previously. So we got to that bridge now. My mom came for something. I can't remember what she came to Kefi to do. I was still in Kefi with my elder sister. So my when we were seeing her off, she was going home. We are going to put her in the car to go back home to Akwanga. But elder sister said, we are going to Osun State. Oh, Jessica won't carry us go Osun State. You know what that changed her face? The way she squeezed her face. It shocked me. Oh. I was like, she now said, God forbid. I said, gang. I was like, mommy, you're joking. Oh. You're joking. Me and myself begin to frown face. I said, yeah, you're joking. Oh. In fact, when I'm ready, we'll have that conversation. She did not even answer me. She just left. She entered car and just left. So after that day with my mom, I knew that there's problem. Like there's fire on the mountain. You guys. So when the whole thing started getting serious, because the man was telling me that he wanted something long term, and he wanted to like go and introduce himself to my parents, and I was like living carefree. I was done with almost done with what's it called project. I was to leave carefree back to Akwanga. So if this thing was going to work, he would definitely be visiting his girlfriend, right? So at least he needs to go and see them so that when they come, he comes. It's not be like, who is this person that you brought to my house? I knew that there was going to be problem. I started avoiding him more because what to do? The guy was confused. The guy was confused. Like, okay, I love is sweet, but I don't know if I want to fight my mom over you. I don't know. And I'm not a very confrontational person, and so yes, I was like, nah. I started avoiding him, giving him cold shoulders, and all of that. Then the man had to cut me one day he called me and he said that he's not begging me if I'm not doing, he gives me from now to tomorrow to tell him I'm not doing so that he will just move on. He does. Which one is all this? I'm using it to play. That night I think. I say, I don't really like this person. Do I want to let go? Do I want to? And I told him that no, I'm going to sit up. That I'm going to try. So I said it, and I snapped out of it. I was like, I'm going to try. If it doesn't work with my parents, the thing can't on fight. Nah. But deep down in my heart, I knew that I was willing to willing to go through whatever it is that we have to go through for the acceptance. So I went back home last. I left Kefi. We were just talking on the phone, and I'll be bringing. I had discussions with my parents. I met them and I told them I'm seeing somebody, and so and so and so and so. That was when I told my dad and all of that. My dad said I should go and think again. My mother, she said, Nakima wasani. Kuna wasan yara ne? Bazin Faruba, it's not going to happen. I was like, woman, calm down. Like, what's going on? Did you hear that he killed somebody in your mama life? Did he kill you or shoot you in your mama life? What's going on? I was not getting angry. Like, why is my mom talking like that? Like, what is the problem? Why is she like, we don't even know this person? Why are you like hell bent? Okay, I know that, and this was the discussion, this was the plan, but plans change and all of that. So when my mom was talking, I got agitated along the line. It now turned to quarrel. Very bad. The worst decision I made. I now started telling her that if it's not him, I'll marry. I'm not going to marry nobody. If they tell me not to date this person and he leaves and he gets somebody else and marries, nobody should tell me to go and bring husband in this house, because I'm going to stay in this house for as long as I want. I'm not going to if Mba Shiba, Mba Yaro Yoruba, Mba Serija. So imagine my mother's very non-confrontational, calm child telling her that what would I say, Yaro Yoruba? I was like, don't worry, I'll put subtitles so that if you don't understand how, at least you read the caption. Yeah, say I didn't know that. And she called my elder sister. Was complaining. Can send the baby now. That's what they call me at home. Can send the baby now. Makana didn't come on Saranta. Baby and Zoom Tatash Gadia. Why I didn't have to do a fuska. We don't want cut the cow in your bagida. My sister now tell her I should not be angry and all of that. Then my sister will come. Oh, man, not be small. See, the story long. If I begin to tell all the things that we had to do, it's story long like this. It was dragging. My daddy really didn't have a problem, but I mean, his wife does not like it, so and he wants peace. So he just vibes. And then I think one of the things that made me have a rethink, and I stopped fighting, because that was like absolute foolishness. Fighting at that period was absolute. I was not wise enough, and I was not really praying about it. I was thinking I would do stubborn head and I'll have my way. Fighting was not solving the whole issue, and I had to like retrace my steps And I went back to prayer. I went back to God. I said, okay, you gave me the go ahead for this thing, and it's not looking like it's going to work out. What do I do? Where do I go from here? And God told me to not fight. No, it's not that it's not by gra, that I should use wisdom. That I should do more of talking on my knees than confronting and talking to my mom and all of that. Then everything. Now, and I said that, and I mellowed. I was not acting normal, like nothing was happening. And then I had to sit down with my dad and my mom. She was not really interested, but she had to be there because I told them I wanted to see them. So we did a sit down, and I was like, "What is the problem? Like, what exactly? Why are they saying no?" My dad now said that they've not seen a good Yoruba man. That was what my daddy told me. That they've not seen a good Yoruba man. That most of my tribes people that have gotten married to Yoruba people are either suffering or the man has left them with children, and since then the woman has been on her own, and they don't want that experience for me. It was then I was like, oh, okay, now I get where you're coming from. So I was approaching it wrongly because I had a misconception. I felt like my parents were just being too uptight, and they were just being, you know, they were just being, I don't know how to put it, they were being uptight. They just didn't want to break or something. But after that conversation, I got to understand that they were coming from the standpoint of fear, and we are a very close knitted family. Like we are like this. Then I think another thing that made me understand that it was very out of love was Mama was not telling me that, Mama saying that inside the talk, she now saying that if the now will come now and say that everybody should go to, they want to share Nigeria. I don't even know what she thought of that. They want to divide Nigeria now, and they are saying that everybody should go back to their village. That's how me. I'll follow man and go to Osun State. How will she be? How will she know what is going on with me? I don't know. I'm like, we have fun now. And besides, it's not relocating back to the village after I marry him. Person that has only been to his village once. What's the problem? So from that day, I just tried to make sure that I give them the assurance that it's not like I'm going to die. Or people that get married and go abroad, how do their parents cope? Like, where is Osun State? Where is Nasarawa State? I was just like using it to tease. I'm like, I'm not going far. I'm not going. In fact, it's Abuja we are going to stay. I was not even sure, but I was just saying, is it not Abuja that we're going to stay? I'm not going to follow him to his village for whatever reason. She was like, I'll say it now. It's when I enter the marriage, I will know. I will know if I can open my mouth and tell him that I will not follow him to his village. I was like, "Mommy, calm down, calm down. You're not losing me. I know you love me, and I know that you want the best for me, but I promise you, you're not going to lose me to your man. I promise." So after that talk, they say we're not like, and see, all this I'm saying, if it's not inside 1 year, oh, this thing dragged up until 3 years of dating. My husband was very patient. He was a very patient man. We dated 3 years. See, he even engaged me in the third year. He gave me a ring, and I couldn't wear it in my father's house. So I stopped fighting. In fact, we stopped talking about it. And but my elder sister was still talking to my dad, and giving him reasons, and how that he's a good person. She has studied him, and she's not going to lead me astray. And because of how long the whole thing was taking, I started losing interest. I was like, see, he's not a do or die affair, and besides, I'm going to see person to marry. Even if I don't see person to marry, I'll just make money, and I'll just be a sugar mommy. I actually think that I'll just go and make my money and just be balling, because me a soft girl, I don't want soft life before. So I started losing interest. I'm not going to lie. I stopped talking to my then boyfriend, now husband. I stopped picking his calls because it was getting overwhelming as at the time, and I was not ready to be fighting. I was tired of fighting. In fact, I stopped praying. I was even thinking of prospects like, see, if this one will work, another one will work. I'm not going to kill myself. But I don't even know what really restricted me. Even the people they were coming, because I had so many other people coming. You see that person? You see that brother Bulus that I was telling people earlier about, that I said good, that I said good, that I said God told me that he's my husband. It was in that period that he started coming. He now started coming back. Then another one that I did not mention his name. It was that period that we're not coming back, and they were coming for something serious. So I was torn in between. And as at them, when Brother Bulus came back, I was really not interested, because I got to understand that I just really liked him. He was a fine man. I like fine men naturally. I'm married to one, so I just liked him, and I think that informed my decision, and I was telling myself that it was the Holy Spirit. Kai, God, I'm sorry. So I just knew that no, I just really, it was like I liked him, and that was just it was just in my head, and I was not really feeling anything anymore when he came back. Like he was just there, and another person that was coming was even my first ever love. I had dated only just one guy in secondary school, and then my husband. Remember, I told you that I said I was not going to date because I didn't want to be distracted in school. So I dated this person from secondary school in SS2, and then I think 3 months. We did 4 months, every 3 months relationship that I used to sneak out. A boyfriend from secondary school. He had finished, he had served, and he was even working. He now came and he was like, he wants to marry me. I told him I'm in a relationship, even though my parents have not really accepted the person because he's a Yoruba man and all of that. He now said they will not accept him, that they will not accept him, that our people will not accept him, that him he's happy and he's going to pray that they don't accept him and all of that, so that I'll come back to him. I know you'll be asking why are you wearing different clothes. You guys will not believe that I was recorded to the last clip of this very particular story time, and one another one to do another talking head video, and I realized that the other videos, all the talk, what all the talk sis, mic had gone off. So in the midst of all the chaos of these people coming, and I was like, see, I'm not going to kill myself. At the end of the day, I'm a hot cake. I'll still find husband to marry at last. I'm not going to stay forever. Please, everybody should, if this thing will work out, it will work out. If it will not work out, it will not work out. So I started withdrawing, started having cold feet, and I started running away from my husband. I was not picking his calls. He would call me, he would up for 2 minutes. I'll tell him I want to sleep. I was tired. So when my mouth was saying one thing, my heart was saying the other. I couldn't I couldn't I couldn't just move on from my husband. So I just like, well, let's with God, we can walk through this, we can get through this and all of that. Then I stopped fighting my parents, I stopped threatening, I stopped trying to be stubborn. All those things I kept saying. I decided to really just pray, really pray about it, because I was like, God, if you really, really, really endorse this, then you're going to make a way. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you're going to make it happen. And then along the line, my dad just called me and he was like, we want to see him, because prior to that he would visit Akwanga, but we will hang out somewhere else. We will not come to my father's house because acceptance is still on the table. So they said they wanted to see him, and I'm like, say no more. This man has been ready like ages. So I told him, he came to the house, came with, I don't even know what he brought, but he didn't come empty handed. Put him on hot seats, asked him questions. Pastor Sam was legit sweating. The guy was on his toes. Now normal parent investigations, asked him questions, threatened him and all of that. They said, okay, let's see how it goes. So after he left that day, my mother was like, I shouldn't even think that because they told him to come to the house that they have accepted him. They just want to know him personally, so that it doesn't look like they are using one bad beans to spoil like the rest. So they want to know him. As in my mind, I say, you have accepted him, finish like this. Don't worry yourself. Then along the line, he started growing on everybody. He will call and all of that. And before you know it was time to come and collect list. And my parents were like, are you sure? I was like, yes, I'm sure. Are you sure? I was like, yes, I'm sure. He said, okay. They give their blessings. And that was it too. After how many years dating, I started dating him like I think 2 years, and we did friendship for 1 year, then started dating actively for 3 years plus, and then inside the 3 years, I think he was fully accepted in just like 6 months before we started marriage preparations. So it was not funny. Let me know, like, it was not funny. But then I got to realize that where my parents were coming from, because I do not totally fault them. It was not like it was coming from the place of tribalism, or it was coming from the place of them being selfish. It was coming from the place of looking out for their child, you know, because no father or no parents would want their child to marry and then encounter any form of problems. So they were just being careful, and I really thank them for that. It shows how much I'm loved at home. So that was how it happened. And then with everything, thank God my father is alive, he's still alive. the bride price, everything was seamless. He was there to, stand his ground on things, and it was smooth. There was no inflation in it. Was just a normal dowry payment, and yeah. So I'm just really very happy that intertribal marriages are now very common with my people. Like I see people from my states marrying Edo, people some Igbo, some Igala, like people marrying like from outside is very very common now. As at 2020, 2021, it wasn't. So I think that's aside my parents even trying to look out for their child, there were external forces. "Kung ba't tatawag Yoruba? Kar ku yadda, kar ku yadda." Those kind of things. So I think that also contributed. All these uncles and aunties that would just be talking what they do not know. So yes, I'm really happy that it is not the case. If it were now that I was coming home with my husband to marry, I'm not sure my parents would really have like would really want to would have to go through all those years trying to gain acceptance, before it would have been seamless, because like it's not like a normal thing around where I'm from. Before it was strange. During my time it was like very strange and it was very rare. Parents were kicking against it, and imagine my mother saying, "What if they now say everybody should move and go to their village?" No parent wanted their daughter to be, especially daughters, to be very far. At least my mom's elder brother, immediate elder brother, got married to an Igbo lady, and it was fine, right? But we going out, it was like, but yeah, I'm happy that that's not the case right now. So it's been 4 years of marriage, and it's been pure bliss, and I really thank God for that. I thank God that He gave me a good man, one of the good men, one of the good Yoruba men. So yeah, this is my story. Please, if you have any story like intertribal marriage issues that you want to share, can you drop into the comment section? Let's encourage ourselves, let's educate ourselves, or let's just do it for banters. Let's laugh, because I know it's now eating of the past. People like our families, parents are really opening their hearts and their arms to intertribal marriages nowadays. So, or even make a video and tag me, so we'll just watch and laugh. Let's look back to the good old days. Bye for now. Happy anniversary to me.